Hello, my name is Thomas Durieux. I am currently working as a postdoc at KTH in Sweden. I work in collaboration with Claire Le Guez, Michael Hilton and Rui Abreu on this project. This work has been made possible thanks to the CMU Portugal program. I will now present you our study on the restart and Flaky builds on Travis CI. Restarting is a commonly used technique to fix inconsistent behaviors in software. Your computer is not stable, you restart it. It's still the same for your smartphone. And even for more critical systems, like airplanes, you need to restart it once in a while. For example, the Airbus A350 needs to be restarted after every 149 hours. The restart resets the state and makes sure that everything is working as expected. Even if a restart is effective, it's a frustrating and time-consuming task that we would like to avoid. Developers do the same with builds in continuous integration environments. Things can go wrong. During a build, service can be unavailable, flaky tests can occur, as well as race conditions during the execution, etc. Restarting the build can mitigate those random behaviors and obtain the expected behaviors. As far as we know, this phenomenon has never been studied in a continuous integration environment. The goal of this study is to obtain a better understanding of the developer behaviors, understanding what could go wrong in a build, what type of errors the developer restarts, which type of error can be mitigated. It is also important to study this phenomenon since manually restarting an automatic build is frustrating. It's a loss of time since the developer needs to wait again until the end of the build. We decided to study the restarting and Flaky builds on Travis CI since Travis CI is one of the most popular continuous integration services, and the results of the build are available. But what is really a restarted build, and how can we collect them? In continuous integration, developers are pushing changes in the distributed version control system. Then, the distributed version control system notifies the continuous integration system for all the changes. The continuous integration system initializes the build, starts the execution of the new version of the software. Once the build is finished, the developer is notified with the status of the build, passing or failing. If the status of the build doesn't match the expectation of the developer, she will investigate and potentially restart the build if what she found is inconsistent. The continuous integration service will notify her again with the status of the restarted build. If the status of the restarted build is different from the original build, we consider that the build is flaky. Unfortunately, Travis CI does not provide an API to collect the restarted build. Moreover, when the developer restarts the build, the original data is lost. Travis CI overrides them and we cannot retrieve them anymore. Therefore, we had to develop our own technique to collect the restarted builds. To collect the restarted builds, we call several times a second Travis CI to get the status of the potential new builds and the status of the running builds. We store all those information in our database. To identify the restarted build, we compare the data that we store in our database with the output of the Travis CI API at that moment. If the creation date of the data that we store is different from the response of the Travis API, it means that Travis API data has been overwritten and the build has been restarted. We run our data collection for 3 months, and we collect data for around 10 million jobs, 3 million builds, and for more than 170,000 repositories. This creates one of the largest datasets of Travis build. The main difference with Travis 2.1, for example, one of the most popular Travis dataset, is that we didn't target specific languages of projects. We collect all the data for all the projects that enter in our pipelines, which make our dataset much more representative. During the same time, we collect the restarted builds from Travis CI using the methodology that I described, by storing all the builds and by looking which has been reinitialized by Travis. During that period, we found 120,000 restarted jobs, 55,000 restarted builds for more than 22,000 repositories. According to our observation, it is a restarting rate of 1.7%, which was more than what we expected. Moreover, this is an underestimation of the reality, since we could not collect all the restarting builds due to time limit constraints. Only Travis CI would be able to provide an accurate number if they start to collect this type of data. Interestingly, 7.65% of the project restart at least one build during the 3 months. This shows that restarting a build is a common practice for a lot of different projects and is not only used by a subset of developers. Indeed, during our study, 59% of the project restart only one build and 33% between 2 and 5. This confirms that recycling builds is common practice, but is not frequently used. We observed that restarting rates vary deeply between languages. It seems that interpreted languages such as JavaScript, Shell, or Ruby restart less frequently their builds than compiled languages such as Go or C++. JavaScript and TypeScript repositories have the lowest restart rate among the popular languages, around 1%, and C++ has the highest restart rate with almost 3%. We try to understand the reason that could produce this difference. We observe that interpreted languages have on average fewer builds and shorter build duration. This could indicate that those builds are less complex than the builds from compiled languages and therefore are less likely to have unexpected behaviors. We follow our investigation to compare the original status of the build to the restarted one. As expected, we observed that developers mostly restarted failing builds, followed by error builds. But we were surprised to see developers also restarting passing and cancel builds. After manually analyzing the passing and cancel builds, we did not find any general explanation that could justify why developers have such practice. Further studies should target this specific point. On average, restarted builds have 46% chance to change its status after the restart. And 45% of the failing builds will change to passing builds after the restart, which is relatively high. But we're expecting a higher value because we imagined that the developers would be better to identify which build should be restarted and which build should pass after the restarts. Now that we have a better understanding of the restarted builds, we investigate the failure cause of the build to try to identify why the developer restarted them. We automatically parse the original failing logs from the restarted builds to identify the reason for the failings. We observe the 3 main reasons for the developer to restart the builds. Firstly, there is a failing test case in the build, and they want to restart it to see if it's really a failing one. The second one is the build is failing because of a Travis limitation, such as execution timeout or log that is too big. The third one is related to the errors that happens during the installation of the dependency. Restarting the build could unlock this problem. The restarting rate depends largely on the failure types. Failing test case have a success rate of 55%. Travis limitation have a success rate of 63%. And installation of dependency have a restart success rate of 78%, which is the highest restart rate that we observe. Connection timeout also have a high success rate of 77%. Those restart rates are so high that we could consider a system that automatically restarts those builds when they face one of those 2 errors. Such a system would improve the developer experience with the continuous integration service and reduce the amount of time spent on analyzing the flaky builds. It surprises us to see that the main type of failure is related to test failures. Our hypothesis when we started this study was to find reasons that are related to our environment, such as installation dependencies or timeout. Seeing that the developer restarts frequently failing builds that have test failures indicate that the developers are aware of test flakiness and are expecting in a continuous integration environment. We had a look of some of those projects and we observed that some of them have some issues that are related to test flakiness and try to fix them. We imagine that our system could be used to collect real flaky tests that could be used in the test community. The following step of our study is to analyze the impact of the restarted flaky builds on the developers. Firstly, we look at the amount of time that separates the beginning and the original builds and the beginning of the restarted builds. If the developer quickly restarts the build, it means that the build matters for her and she's okay to stop what she's doing to handle the unexpected behavior. Switching activities is known as a source of loss of productivity and a source of stress. The flaky build is potentially have an impact on the developer, but is probably not frequent enough to have a major one. This chart presents the amount of time between the beginning of the original build and the beginning of the restarted build. As you can see, most of the builds are restarted in the first 30 minutes, which indicates the developer care about the outcome of the builds and are okay to do what is required to fix them. It includes also stopping what they are doing and target the problem in their builds. During the second investigation of the impact of restarting builds on the developer, we analyzed the impact of the restarting build on the merging time of pull requests. This chart presents a box plot of merging time of pull requests. We divide the graph per source types since it has a major impact on the merging time. For example, a pull request from the owner of the repository is much faster than the one from external collaborator. We also split the merging time for pull requests from projects that do not have restarted build at all, pull requests from projects that have a restarted build but not in the current pull request that we are analyzing, and finally for pull requests that have a restarted build inside it. It shows that pull requests that have a restarted build are constantly slower than other types of pull requests. We measure a slowdown of 11 times compared to projects that do not have restarted build at all, and 3 times compared to projects that have at least one restarted build. This brings the median merging time from 16 hours to 48 hours, which is a huge difference. During this study, we analyzed the restarted builds and the flaky builds on Travis CI. We show that at least 1.7% of the builds are restarted on Travis. 45% of them are changing their status from failing to passing. The test failures is the